We got Lauren in New York who wants to talk about astrology and a proof of God. How you doing, Lauren? You're on with Objectively Dan and Matt.
I'm doing good. Honestly, I didn't expect to get on.
We have a really weird echo with
that
you.
was like, it sounds like you're calling from a subway tunnel. What's up with that?
Or swimming pool.
I live in New York City, and it's loud if I open the window. So I was trying not to get that echo. Is that better?
There you go.
Oh,
That's
yeah, it's
better.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have two things. I wanted to talk about, you guys can pick either, but I think I have a potential logical proof for God, and I wanted to talk about an astrology video Matt did in the past, if that's okay.
Okay.
I guess I want to know your logical proof for God.
So I don't think I'm going to convince you, but I want to get your opinion because I respect both of your guys' intellect.
Okay.
My idea is that the one assumption I need is that the universe is a closed system, and that if the universe is a closed system, then consciousness would inherently extend to the universe itself, and that therefore conceptually would or could be considered a God.
All right. I have no idea what the last half of that sentence means.
So
first
there
of
are
all,
a lot of conceptions of God. Oh.
Hang on. If we're going to call something a logical proof of God, it would be nice if we could put it into a syllogistic form. And what we've got right now is premise one, the universe is a closed system. Premise two, consciousness would extend to the universe. Now, I have no idea how you justify that premise, but there's no way to get to a conclusion from those two premises because your major and minor premises are not connected properly.
Okay. This is actually why I wanted to talk to you about it, because I know it's incomplete, and I'm hoping that you can poke holes.
But here, I think I know what you're saying enough to debunk it right away, which is this.
Okay.
Let's say the universe is a closed system and it has existed for 5 seconds. Would consciousness exist, would extend to the universe at that point?
No, it would.
Okay. Now, what if the universe has existed for 1 million years? Would consciousness extend to the universe at that point?
If something that was conscious came to be.
Oh, no. If something, so at some point, something consciousness begins to, something within the universe gets consciousness, right? So let's say last Tuesday, something became conscious for the first time. How long after that does that consciousness does it extend to the universe?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Do you mean
okay,
how afterwards?
Does the mere fact that one thing, like let's say the first conscious being arises, does that mean that the universe itself is conscious at that moment, or does the beginning of that individual's consciousness extend to the universe over time?
I'd imagine immediately.
Okay, then what you're doing there is the fallacy of composition, because you cannot extend the properties of the constituent parts to the whole. Mm-hmm. Because just in the same way that my fingernail is hard, that doesn't mean that my earlobe is hard. So you can't extend the property of a part of a thing to the whole. So what's the
well, if it was a closed system, wouldn't it be part of the whole, and it would inherently be the whole?
No, that's not what a closed system is. A closed system, you're talking about something with regard to entropy and laws of physics and stuff. A closed, it does. Yeah. Logic is not going to. It's still a fallacy of composition that you can't extend to the property of that, because also there's a rock in this universe, right? And that rock is not conscious, which means you would have to extend that property of the universe as well, right? And now you're in a conflict because the universe is both conscious and not conscious, just because parts of it are conscious and not conscious.
Well, does that mean we're not conscious?
No. I mean, I'm conscious. I'm conscious, but the table that I'm tapping is not.
But I don't know if I understand, if I'm being honest.
Okay, then let's just go on to the astrology thing.
Okay. So you did a video with Owen and Jimmy.
Yes.
So my whole thing was the two guys who were water signs known for intuition got their original guesses correct. And while most might not take that as evidence, I think that should be. That the most intuitive signs were able to guess it right off the bat.
How do you know those are the most intuitive signs? How do you know those are the most intuitive signs?
Because that's what astrology says. That
okay, but if astrology says, that doesn't mean it's true, right?
So my whole thing about astrology is that I don't think the stars affect who we are, but I do.
Well, then you don't accept astrology. So why would it matter what star sign is intuitive?
I think it would be, because it's still a structural system to describe people's behavior and personality. So it's still, I mean, you could call it something else, but it's still a similar system.
Well, if it's astrology and it's based on the stars, and you don't think the stars have that impact, then it's not, then the characteristics of those star charts don't tie to the individual.
Not necessarily. So
yes, necessarily. In the same way that the constituent parts of the universe do not extend to the universe, the fact that astrology says stars dictate our. Do you think that a pair of twins are going to live an identical life and have identical personalities?
There have been some case studies about it.
Oh my God. Okay.
What?
Dan?
I don't know where to take this from here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I kind of got to the end, but I didn't want to drop it without you.
I guess when it comes to astrology, I think it's interesting. You know, I'm a Capricorn, so you know that's people tend to not like those. I don't really know why, but like
I'm an Aries, and we know that astrology is bullshit.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
like
one.
Go
ahead.
When you have different, you know, I don't know what the video is in particular you're talking about, but when you make Barnum statements, you know, which came from P.T. Barnum, you know, the guy that, you know, that the circus is named after, you know, you can make these statements to kind of fit. Yeah. You can make these statements fit a lot of different people for a lot of different circumstances and stuff. And so personality typing in general is always kind of sketch, you know, like if it, when it comes to like explanations for exactly how it works, it just doesn't seem to make any sense. You know, I know that maybe your belief in astrology doesn't necessarily extend to the stars dictating people's lives, but that's what a broad majority of people who do practice astrology actually do believe, as Matt was saying. Like that's kind of part and parcel with the belief system. I don't know, every time they've done like broad studies and observing this stuff, it doesn't seem to hold true. At best we have anecdote, you know?
Yeah. And you're talking about a study with 3 people.
Yeah.
Let's study everybody who's supposed to be intuitive. And if we took everybody who's supposed to be a star sign that's intuitive, what do you think the likelihood is that they would all get it right?
It depends, because I personally think intuition is a skill you can hone, but those people inherently are close. It's like a talent for them.
Where do you think intuition comes from? I'm curious.
I'm not sure, honestly. I think at least part the unconscious mind doing calculations without you realizing it.
Could be.
One of my things is, well, yes, while Barnum's statements are broad, everyone gets angry, but not everyone gets belligerent. A lot of people are hardworking, but not everyone will run themselves ragged. You know?
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'd like to ask you guys to do, you don't have to, but after you guys when you guys get a chance, look at your closest friend's star sign, and I'm gonna guess that for Matt, they're gonna be air and fire signs, and for Dan, they're gonna be earth and other water signs.
Okay. Well,
I would want to know.
I might be able to look at that, but you know, I want to go back to that point on intuition, because.
So hang on, no. Let me just hit one thing. So for me, it's going to be air or fire signs, right?
Yes.
So air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, right?
Yes.
And fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, right?
Yes.
So you're telling me that my best friend is likely to be one of 6 of 12 fucking star signs.
Yeah, that's
way
half.
to play the odds.
Yeah,
That's a coin toss.
I mean,
It's literally a coin toss.
I'm sure it is, but at the same time,
nothing. It's a coin toss. If you can't get odds better than a coin toss, we definitely don't need to be spending time on it.
all right, I can understand that.
yeah. One more thing I want to say on intuition. You know, people talk about people having these intuitions and stuff, and what I think people mean a lot of times when they say that is just the calculations of their life experience. You know, giving them the skills to do something. So like I play violin, for example. And if I hear a song on the radio that I know is in a key, I know my fingers can kind of know where to go because I have so much practice with it. I can intuitively do that, but that's not because there's something magical in me. That's because of my life experience and practice doing that. When a mother talks about their intuition, well, they've had experience being a mother for however many years, you know, so they know based on what their kid's going to do that they're going to respond in a certain way. So like intuition, I don't think it's magical, at least, you know, I don't see a reason to think it is for most cases. I think it's just a combination of life experiences that lead you to, you know, come to certain conclusions about things. I think that can be explained through, you know, physical means, not necessarily anything supernatural, right?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Dan. If you think that there's something to intuition that's beyond just training your brain to make more reasonable inferences, you'd need to demonstrate it. But we've got a bunch of other callers that have been on hold, some of them for more than an hour. So I want to try and move on a bit.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
For your time.
Have a good one.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, that's the big thing is, you know, it's like, oh, I bet, you know, let me pick out 6 of the 12 star signs. And one of those is probably,
I'm glad you pointed that out. Because I don't know too much about the star signs, but
it happens a lot. It's, you know, it's one of those things where it's one of those things where you can make a statement that is true or likely true or feels true, but what are the actual odds?